All right, try this again. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Let's Talk One-on-One with Uncle David. How's everybody doing this evening? Thank you all for coming through. I certainly appreciate it. Excuse me, I'm trying to get this. I'm also streaming from Facebook, so it's going to look a little crazy. As we go through our journey in life, we go through ups and downs. You know, it's mountains and molehills. And sometimes we fall flat on our face. But the journey is it's not so much about how hard you fall, but how determined you are to get back up. And tonight's guest is a shining example of that, of falling, things going wrong, and feeling like maybe this just ain't what I'm supposed to be doing. But yet he keeps going and going. And so tonight he's going to share his journey with us. And full disclosure, he is my cousin. So that makes it all the more better. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring to you Earl Hawkins.
What's happening, cuz?
Hey, cuz. How you doing?
All right, all right.
Thank you for coming through. I greatly appreciate it.
Yes, indeed. Thank you for having me, man. It's a blessing.
Oh, man. It is my absolute pleasure. How you doing this evening?
All right, man. Yourself?
I'm doing all right. I have no complaints. You know, it really does no good to complain. You know, nobody really cares, and everybody has their own situation.
Yeah.
So they're like, you know what? Why are you complaining? I got my own stuff. Don't nobody listen to me, so I'm not listening to you. And that's usually how that goes.
And I feel you. But it's good to vent, though. It's always good to vent, man.
It is. But you have to have somebody to want to vent. You know, some folks they don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
So what I figured what you can do is just go find a mirror. If you have to, just stand there or go sit in the car, you know, and just holler and scream and, you know, get it all out.
That's what's up.
Hey, Prince, how you doing? How you doing, G-Fam? Aunt Maddie? Trying to find the Facebook, folks. G Family says blessings. So let's just get into it.
Yes, sir.
And tell us a little bit about your story and how you came to be where you are now.
Cool. All right. Hello, everybody that's watching. Like cuz say, Earl Hawkins, Southeast DC, born and grew up two-parent family. Wasn't the greatest situation. Grew up competitive swimmer. Swimming became my whole life. Went to DUNBAR Senior High School in DC, not the DUNBAR in Baltimore. Both of them famous. And got a full scholarship to a few schools and chose Howard and went to Howard University. And fell on academic probation, fell under the requirement to keep my scholarship. So ended up years later going back to school and getting my degree in business administration. But in that falling and losing my scholarship, felt some kind of way and ended up taking a little foray into the streets, feeling, you know, if it ain't one thing, it's another with, you know, men, especially the embarrassment, feeling a certain and ended up getting into trouble, man, and spent some time in federal prison, 10 years, federal mandatory minimum sentence. And that's where Faith Works was born. As you can see, I try to definitely represent what I'm representing. And I'm pushing for, you know, to grow a brand, but to make sure it's a ministry first and it's a movement. Shout out to my church, St. Paul Christian Community Church, Washington, D.C., 414 Tennessee Avenue. Blessings. Pastor Reginald Luckett. You know, just like you said, redemption, man, growing as a man and understanding what life is all about and plugging forward. I could have easily given up. And that's my story, just to share with anybody, man, that will listen and that may be going through some things that, never give up. Faith works. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. Because a lot of times people, especially us men, like you said, we have this thing, this ego, and this pride that, one, we don't ask for help.
Right.
Two, because we're going to do it all on our own. Whatever feelings we have been taught to suppress them.
Right.
When you hear the saying that men, even when we were little boys, you fall and they say, well, what are you crying for? Right. Boys don't cry. And then you get older, it's like men don't cry. And I'm like, well, what do you do with all that built up emotion? Right. Because it's got to go somewhere. And if you, consistently hold it in, then this is where the anger comes in. And we don't know how to use it. We don't know how we don't have an outlet. And so now it becomes, you get married, you got a family, now it becomes domestic violence. And then it becomes, you start abusing your kids and you become abusive to everybody because of that one moment where you said, hey man, I ain't crying, I'm gonna hold this in, and then boom, there it goes.
Yeah, it's definitely that's the truth in so many ways. Because if I'd have just reached out and confided in somebody, I may not have went that route that I didn't have to go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But also in our journey, there are things that we have to go through. I hear a lot of times people say, well, if I'd have known then what I know now, I would have done this, or I could have done that. Well, you couldn't have known then what you know now. You had to go through everything that you went through. And then you had to wait for whoever else you were going to come in contact with. You had to wait for them to go through what they went through in order for them to get to the point where you're like that. Like business partners, they get together and, you say, man, it was the luck of the draw. No, it was how it was designed. Right. You went through your turmoil and everything that you went through, and then the other person went through whatever they went through, and then boom, there it is. So it works. That's kind of how it works. Sometimes it doesn't seem that simple, and it sounds simple, but it's really complicated.
Yeah, it's definitely a chosen path.
Yes.
To put it plainly, it's a chosen path. We live by the choices we make, and you have to, you got to travel that road. However, there's some bumps in the road and some detours that you may not have to go over, because a lot of times I try to seek wise counsel now. Yeah, it's about wise counsel.
Oh yeah,
asking somebody that may have already been down that road. And don't get me wrong, and like you said, in life and growing, you got to understand. We get a little hard headed.
Oh yeah.
Uncle Dave told me don't touch that stove because I got burnt. But
I'm gonna touch it anyway.
I exactly, and then I sneak back in there thinking I'm gonna do something slicker and touch it again. That's how we learn. So. Oh yeah. We don't listen. No doubt. Thank God I learned from my mistake, and I'm pushing it forward. And I haven't returned. Like some others, man. It's sad. You just. I can't understand how, Joker going through that situation of incarceration, and then you get free, you get your freedom back by the grace of God, you go do something back in there.
Yeah, because I think what happens is sometimes they get comfortable there and they get back out in the street and they're like, you know what? I got to work for this. I got to earn this. It's so much easier when I got somebody, my food is ready. I got a bed. I know I'm gonna have somewhere to sleep. They're not understanding the that you're behind bars and you are living according to somebody else's rules. It's like living in somebody else's house. You have to abide by their rules. And so, even though when you get out in the street, there are rules and regulations.
Yes, sir.
But, for me, I remember I had a summer job and I had to go down to Oak Hill for the summer job. They took us down there. Why? I don't remember, but it was like a little field trip. And Earl, I tell you, when I went in there and I heard those gates locked behind me, and then there was this little kid that was with us, and they were talking about all the things that we're going to do to him. I'm like, you know, I'd heard some things in my lifetime,
Right.
but some of that stuff they was talking about doing, I'm like, really? I'm like, man, I don't, if you're in there, you're in there, and things happen, and you end up there, but then you get out. You got to figure out, well, maybe that ain't the place for me.
Right.
And luckily, like you said, luckily you decided that that's not where you wanted to be.
No doubt. And again, it's that chosen path, and it's getting knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and it's knowing
And
your
listening.
and it's education. It's to it that sometimes people take those things for granted. You get caught up in the foolishness of outside noise or influences, where you got to get your foundation straight. You know what I'm saying? You can get that foundation straight, get that solid, then you move forward and you build one block at a time. You know what I'm saying? And that's the lesson for us as in our people. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
But a lot of times we want it right then. I call this the microwave generation, where they want it quick, fast, and in a hurry. You put it in the microwave, it's done in 30 seconds, and boom, I'm gone. Not understanding that, sometimes the quick way ain't the best way. Sometimes you got to put it in the oven and let it sit there for a couple of hours.
Man, you sound like me. I've said that so many times, and also I use this, this push button generation. You can't press reset in real life. These videos and all of this stuff.
No, you can't.
You do something crazy. Yeah, you got to deal with that thing in real life. Yeah, that's real right there. And that's the message, man, that just, push forward, plug away. Yeah, we're gonna learn some things. We're gonna stumble, fall, we're gonna bump our head, but keep getting up, push forward. And for us, especially in a time like this, with all that's been going on in the world, with us, man, our people, if we don't come together behind this stuff that we see, we've been allowed to be, most of us, at home and getting a little bit more in tune to, hopefully the news cycle. You know what I'm saying? I talk to people all the time, thank God, and it's like, if a joker don't understand that your vote does count after this election cycle here, you just ain't gonna get it, man. Because they took what, a week and a half, 2 weeks to count votes. Then they counted them again. Then they counted them again. It's like, if you don't understand your vote does count, that's a lie from the pit of hell, as church people say. It's like, you can't expect nothing if you ain't part of the process.
That's right. That's right. And a lot of times people, they get upset and they're like, man, this ain't work. Well, did you? It's like, did you put in? You get back what you put in. And that's any situation, whether it's voting or whether it's a business that you're trying to run,
right,
or whatever it is you're trying to do. If you're an athlete, and I don't care how much talent you have, if you don't put in the work,
there you go.
There will be somebody that comes along that is less talented than you, that will outwork you, and then you're sitting there looking crazy, like, man, I can outshoot him and I can outrun him, but you're not outworking him, and that's the thing.
You hit the, that's real talk. We can go to any neighborhood USA and hear stories about the best athlete that never made it.
Yep. It's all in every neighborhood. I know in the one that I grew up in, it was a whole lot of them, because I lived across the street from the playground, from the basketball court, and I saw them day in, day out. They out there, and you knew who was good.
Right.
But they just didn't have that oomph. And also sometimes they don't have somebody in their corner. Sometimes you need somebody to push you. Surround yourself with people that will nurture you and help you and get you through it.
No
but
doubt.
But if you don't have that, sometimes you fall by the wayside, and the system is designed for you to fall by the wayside, and hopefully you'll fall in a ditch and be so despondent that you won't want to get up. You're like, okay, man, we'll throw them some stuff in the hole, and they'll be all right. They won't feel like getting back up.
Yeah, and that's where that's the platform I want to push. Of, if we don't know in this day and time that we, again, our people need each other. Because who else we got? Like you said, it's things that, you know, gonna happen. But if you don't got the resources, okay, you might just have somebody that you can go to that's doing what you're doing, you know what I'm saying? Or has, you know, maybe have a degree in what you're doing, or could help you gain some knowledge in what you're doing. But if we just trying to go it alone, or, you know, I don't want, you know, you said it earlier, that pride. I don't want to holler at Dave because, you know, who Dave? You know what I'm saying? I ain't hollering at him. I'm gonna get it on my own. It really, no other nationality does that, man, but us, man. And you know, it's it's that foundation of faith, like understanding that faith works, and it's so much behind just that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's crazy because we exercise faith in so many things, except us sometimes. Let alone first and foremost the Creator. Let's be clear. I'm never going discount that. That's first and foremost. But you flick on the power of some type of gadget, and it come on. But sometimes it don't come on. And then you got a little issue, you know, what's going on? Is it my reception? Is it my battery? These platforms, like, you know, you've been blessed with the platform, you know, YouTube and all these things that we on. We don't own these things. Somebody can pull them. Somebody can pull
exactly. They're coming looking at it like, wait a minute. They talk about empowering each other.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? We can't have that, because then if they start talking about it, and then the people that are watching, they start talking about it and figure out that, you know, there's power in numbers. You know, it's crazy how we are the majority, but we are considered the minority. And that is something that I have yet to be able to figure out. They keep saying we're a minority, but we are the majority of the population in most of the countries that we're in. And, you know, instead of harnessing that power and understanding that power, you know, we're like, okay, well, it's easier for me to degrade my own people and the people in my neighborhood and the people that are close to me. It's easier for me to degrade them. That way I put myself above them. You know, that doesn't work for me. And it doesn't make sense to me.
No, it doesn't make sense, especially again, if I get your point. You know, the U.S., we know who's the majority of the population, but unity, it doesn't matter numbers if you come together and unify. You know what I'm saying? Because the Bible say, get on one accord.
Yep.
It's power. It's powerful.
It is.
Every other nationality, they got their own banks. And I say banks, you know, we might have one, maybe two, if my last little research, you know, industrial, I think is another one out there. Every other nationality they got several. And they ain't really running around here asking for nothing. The last I checked, Black people spend $1.3 trillion in this economy. We still running around.
Yep.
We still running around here asking for something. You know, everybody and their grandma, you know, speaking of in the area that I'm walking into, everybody and their grandmother got a clothing line, and don't nobody want to support nobody. We should be supporting one another. We ain't competition. We looking at each other like competition.
Yeah.
When everybody else supporting one another.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy how, like, we were talking on the phone the other day, and, you know, somebody, they'll go buy Gucci, or they'll go buy Prada, or they'll go buy this, but then you have your line, and it's like they stand there waiting for you. You're expected to give them something.
Right.
You ain't going to Saks Fifth Avenue and telling them, hey man, you gotta, you know, I need to get the cousin discount, or I need to get the homeboy discount. We ain't walking in there saying that. So why should I, as an entrepreneur, as a business person who has sat down and put in all this work to make whatever it is I'm making, and then just give it to you? That doesn't make sense to me. And then they get mad if you don't. Like, you work at McDonald's. I remember, you get a job at McDonald's, and here come your folks and your friends, and they're like, oh man, I need 2 double cheeseburgers and a large fry, but can you hook me up? Can you just charge me for one of the double cheeseburgers? And dude, that's not how that works.
And what's so interesting about what you're saying is they compare you to an established brand that is able to actually give them a hookup.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're established. They had to start somewhere and they built something. How about giving me an opportunity to get established and build the brand, and then I could give scholarships, so on and so forth. You do just what everybody else is doing, but you're expecting it from me when, yeah, a lot of these brands are so old, and I mean old to the fact that they're so established. You didn't see them starting out and struggling. However, like you said, you want me to give the shop away. And you don't understand that, blood, sweat, tears, and money has gone into this thing.
That doesn't matter to them. And as soon as you say, no, I can't do it, man, your stuff ain't no good anyway.
Yeah.
Really? It was good enough for you to ask for it in the beginning. Yeah. But my cousin over here on Facebook, on my dad's side, she wants me to let everybody know. First off, she said that let her know she went from being a sharecropper in Rocky Mount, North Carolina, to working for Hillary Clinton.
Wow.
That is, hard work, dedication, and understanding that if you focus, you can get, certain places. And also that our my great-great-grandfather, who was a free slave, built the first elementary school in Nash County, North Carolina.
Wow, now that's Black history. See, I love it, man. This is what I'm talking about. And I thank God again for your platform. And I'm looking down the road to building the platform again, as well as building the brand to be able to get that platform to share these things. The pride that just hit me, that I just felt from sharing that. And mind you, we blood.
Mm-hmm.
And I ain't even know that.
Me either. Now this particular young lady, has a wealth of knowledge about the family, and she's always willing to share it. Yeah. So like when I used to go to North Carolina, and for the summer, I didn't want to come back home. I'm like, this is life, the country. I could go out and run all day, and nobody bothered me, and stuff like that. But you get back to the city, and it's like, But I love my city. I love DC. With everything, because it's like your family. They do stuff that get on your nerves and irritate you, but you just love them. DC, for as crazy as it is, that's home.
Yeah, and that love is not only embedded in us, it's our DNA, and that's community. Our pastors talk all the time about community, common unity.
Mm-hmm.
It's what we have to get back to. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. It's like nothing else makes sense. I sit and wonder, when the killing gonna stop? When the hatred gonna stop? When the self-hatred gonna stop?
Well, see, once they get you to understand that, or make you think that you are the enemy, and even you are your own enemy. You got to fight yourself and anybody that looks like you, because everybody that looks like you is trying to take your spot. Not to mention that you're actually trying to get somewhere in life, but they want you to think that you're the enemy. Anybody else that looks like you is your enemy, because they want what you're trying to get, and so we can keep our stuff over here, and that's generally how that works. And but when you fall for the okie doke, that's when they we'll fall for the okie doke in a minute. They you give out a gold chain or whatever the case may be, some nuggets, and they're like, okay, ooh, that looks good. We follow the shiny object.
Yeah, but see, it goes back again to that knowledge and that wise counsel that family just gave, things we didn't even know. It's like, this is what we are. This is where we come from. These things, kings, queens, inventors, and so on and so forth. It's crazy. And again, that's where what I'm trying to establish as far as a platform is what I want to push. I want people to see. I want FaithWorks, the brand, to be iconic, and international, because I want people to see, you know, you just might be walking down the street and I want people to see, wow, faith work, man, faith do work. You know, I wear stuff and people will say, wow, man, that's true on your shirt. You know what I'm saying? It's you know, sometimes subliminal, sometimes just psychological, that I want people to see that faith works.
All right. Sorry about that, y'all. This screen is giving me all kind of problems. It's confusing me. I'm sitting there looking. I'm like, where's the storm? And I'm like, wait a minute, something's just not right. So we just gonna go without the green screen, and we ain't gonna worry about it. G Daddy Media said he grew up in Nash County. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, that is my wife's cousin. He's down in North Carolina. You know, but you know, it's you know, life is a wonderful thing. You know, yeah, you know, we have our ups and downs and things that happen, but I'm just grateful every time when I wake up. I'm just grateful. You know, I understand that, you know, there's problems and all kind of stuff, and that everybody in the world ain't good, but I'm just glad to be here. Now I'll tell anybody, I am just glad to be here, you know, because there are people that go to bed at night. Like last night, I'm sure that somebody went to bed and they planned all these things that we're going to do today.
Yeah.
But it didn't happen. And so, you know, I do have a question. What I want to do is maybe in about 10 or 15 minutes, just start, you know, we're going to set aside for questions. But since this was here and I've already acknowledged it, Life with Lily wants to know, can you ask Mr. Earl, what does his shirt say?
It says, oh, screen on the, it says faith works. And that's my clothing line, that's my trademark, and also trademark faith will work. But the message is faith works. That's what my clothing line, the ministry, the movement is. It's faith works. It's all about faith works. The Bible says, without faith, it's impossible to please God. Faith without works is dead. And the meaning of faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. Things we exercise every day and act on, but we don't really know that we're exercising faith. It's faith to know that you might have went on a 99 interviews, but you need to get up and go on that 100th interview, because that might be the job you're gonna get.
Yeah.
And keep pushing forward. Don't give up. It's just it's a message for the young and the old. You know what I'm saying? Suicide.
Oh yeah.
Shots. It's like faith works, and it starts the conversation of what does that mean for those that don't know. Like, what does that mean? Not what does what my shirt say, but what does that mean? But there, the shirt says faith works. I got a little. Yeah. My pack says the same thing. Faith works.
Yeah, I like it. You know, I liked it from the first time I saw it, and I'm like, oh man, this is cool. You know, so you know, but you know, you have to stay obedient to your vision. And that is what you're doing. And I cannot tell you enough how proud I am and honored I am. Because I remember as a kid, you know, my mother would be like, yeah, your cousin Earl, he's a swimmer. He's going to do this. He's going to do this. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's going to go to the Olympics. And I'm like, wait a minute. What are you talking about, Ma? You know, I'm like, okay, cool. I'm going to have a cousin who's in the Olympics. Hey, you know, but you know, like I said, life happens.
Yeah, for sure.
And like I was telling you earlier today, the one thing that I noticed about our family, especially the Witcher side, is that it's all about service.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody that you know, not everybody, but the majority of the because I'm one of the elders of the, you know, the next generation to go, the oldest generation. I'm the youngest of the oldest generation. And so I look at you all, the second and third cousins, and then I watch and I'm like, man, you know, they doing stuff, you know, and it's all about the same thing, you know, and something that I've learned is that service is one of the keys to success. You know, that you cannot be successful without service, because you have to make sure that you are giving of yourself and to the people. You know, and if you have something, if you know something, share it. You know, that's why I'm so glad that I have this platform.
No doubt. That's
because
I'm sorry. That's each one teach one. That's
yes.
And that's African proverb, know thyself, each one teach one, in the same mindset of community. This is what we need. How am I learn? What the Bible say? How will I know, or how will I learn if I don't have a teacher?
Mm-hmm.
You know, our generation, you know, because you know, we're in that, you know, 60s, baby, a little bit in there. You know, we were disciplined. There were parents, and it was parenting, and I think we turned out all right. We made some mistakes, let's be clear, but I mean the values, the value system, you know, it's just things that we did not do. You wasn't cutting up, cussing, you wasn't going on the side of the church taking no PP, you know what I'm saying? It was just certain things you wasn't going to do. If you ain't stopped playing football and help Miss Lulu with them bags, some grown up was going to say, y'all stop playing football and help Miss Lulu with them bags.
Yeah, definitely. And you know, back then, you know, like they say, it takes a village.
Yes, sir.
You know, back when I was coming up, it was a true village, because anybody in the neighborhood had the right to chastise you. And once your parents got home and found out that Miss So-and-so chastised you, now you got another thing coming. You know, for me, it was Miss Dorothy. Man, everything we did, she watched. And my parents would come home and she'd tell it. And now I got a whole nother issue that I got to go through. Nowadays, you say something to somebody's kid, if the kid don't cuss you out, the parent definitely will cuss you out and tell you better not say nothing else to my child. And I'm like,
man,
you know,
and we've lost that foundation of that discipline, that respect and values. Not only did the young lady you talking about, you know, look, watched, and told, you were brought to certain neighbors' homes and they're introduced to him in that manner. If you see a child, if you see him doing ABC,
exactly.
Yeah, you have my permission to do what you need to do. And then because then you know you was getting it again when the parent got home. You know,
it was like
and it still some things. It still some things in us, man.
Yeah, I loved Miss Dorothy, but she used to get on my nerves. I'm like, man, we can't do nothing. And it's like she saw everything. I'm like, how this lady see all this stuff? She ain't got but 2 eyes.
Yeah, that's like, neighborhood. That's the neighborhood, though, man. And kept the neighborhood safe and kept one another safe. You done heard your mom, my mom say, you know, back in the day, my mom and Howard Road Southeast, and they would share the stories with me with it. You know, they ain't locked the door. They sleep on the porch. I was like, what? Around here, but they let you know it wasn't like this. It wasn't like that. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't crazy. People wasn't running up on you doing crazy stuff, killing you, robbing you, whatever case. That was community. They grew up like that. Nice, cool summer day, summer evening or night. They sleep on the porch, man. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
These stories that I was told, I wasn't around for that, or I was too young to know those things. But that's community, and that's what we need to get back to, and that's the goal, man. You know, you hope that we can, you know, wake up, wise up, and get back there. You know, I'm with the Black Lives movement, all of that stuff, but it's got to matter to us first, man. First and foremost, you know, people can say what they want to say, and it ain't even no debate. It got to matter. If I can get robbed, shot, or killed going to a Black Lives Matter movement. You know, walk, campaign, meeting, or something like that. And I hate to say it, the most, you know, crazy situations I done got in, it was about, you know, had me running from people that look like me.
Yeah. Because, well, see, the thing is, they wasn't coming. That was one thing that, you know, growing up about Southeast. They wasn't coming over there, and they still don't, you know, unless they live there, but they really ain't coming over to start nothing, because that's just, you know, but, you know, we hurt each other. You know, and it, you know, but it's crazy. I do have a question. Aunt Maddie TV, who is my wife, Maddie. She said, Mr. Earl, so is there a website for your merch? What I'm gonna do, Earl, is I'm gonna drop the link for your website in the chat, and anybody that's interested can click on it.
Yeah. I pretty much knew that you was gonna go there, so I would, but I'll still say it just because we on. faithwillwork.com is the website, but yeah, cuz gonna put it in the put the link in there and check it out. There's a lot of stuff that's not on the site, working out, trying to manage the things. Just Faith Works right now is just God and me. So I'm just trying to, work this thing out. But I, like cuz say, I ain't stopping. I'm plugging away, and it's growing. And some things in the works that I thank God right now. I can't speak on until the ink dry. But we're gonna grow this brand, man. It's lifestyle, man. It's what's needed, especially now. I've been at this for a good 8-9 years. I had to get the trademarks locked in, but just plugging away and refining it. And like you say, man, people like yourself that encourage me to keep going when I just sit and think like, man, this ain't this, what am I doing? But it's the mission God got me on. It's a passion, and that's why I ain't gave up. Before I outside of athletics, swimming, street football, and all that type of stuff, I really didn't have no passion. But now I can't be stopped, man. This thing right here is going, and I'm saying it on Cuz show. You remember when I said, yeah, it's gonna be a blessing. It's gonna be iconic and blow. And again, I want to give back. I want to help the community, and you can only do what you can do. I can sleep well at night, knowing I've shared, knowing I've helped. You know what I mean?
Yeah. My next question is the book.
Look, I knew it was coming. I love it.
You knew it was coming, bro, because the very first time you said something to me about the book, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna stay on him, until he decided to do it.
No,
I know you're busy. I know a whole lot of things are going on.
Because when I say I thank God for you and others like you that encourage me, because just last week I talked to a buddy that I'm like, you know what? It's time to sit down and get at this thing, because watching you, like you've been watching me, and I didn't know it, but iron sharpen iron, and your encouragement, and it's like I done procrastinated, man, for so long with it, but it's coming. Shout out to my buddy Antoine Jones too. It's some buddies that's they're doing a story on his life. A buddy of mine that's got a mean story of redemption, and it's shout out to Vi Keitel. It's guys like that I would reach out to, and we're gonna sit down and chop.
I already know about the story that Mitch is doing.
Yeah, there you go.
Mitch is on the list.
Everybody that's involved, man, it's a beautiful thing, and we're gonna plug away. There's so many stories, man, that's linked to that story, and I happen to be one of them. But I definitely gotta share. I've been saying it, and I speak it, and I talk it, and I walk it. But I definitely gotta put it in writing. It'll help somebody, and it supplements actually the brand. You know what I'm saying? It supplements the clothing line and the brand, because it's got to be a full scale lifestyle brand. So yeah, the book will be definitely coming soon. We're gonna sit down and hash this thing out again. Shout out to Vi Kai, my buddy Dwight Howard, not the basketball player, but
I know
these guys have written books. You know what I'm saying? So it's coming. But nah, thank you, because I need that, man. Again.
Hey, bro. I'm here. That's why I'm here. I need to shout out some people over here on Facebook. Thomas Henry Neal, Ruth. Hey, Tammy over here in Facebook.
Well,
Tammy.
Tammy Lou Smith.
Uh-huh.
It's all love, man. Love her. Yes, indeed. Yes,
yeah,
indeed.
But I appreciate you coming in here, cuz, and being willing to share your story and your mission, and I'm here. I'm here. Whenever you want to come on, and something new's going on, and you want to share it, I'm here. Like you said, you want to get your own YouTube platform set up. Like I said, I've met a lot of people, and there's some of them in here right now who have helped me, who are they're always here. I mean, they show up even when I'm in here and there's like 3 people, in the room.
Gotcha.
I know who those 3 people are. At least 2 of them. They come in and they sit and they listen to me ramble about stuff. Like today, I was listening to one of them. She did a live and she talking about how she listens, to me and takes my advice. And even though I think that I'm just rambling on about crazy stuff, the crazy uncle that comes to the family reunion, they're always sitting in the corner just mumbling about stuff, So it's good to know that people are listening and they're here. And what you have to understand, you can't worry about those that don't show up.
That's right.
The one thing that I have learned is that I have to be aware of those that do.
Right.
And give them my undivided attention and make sure that I give them the message.
Yeah.
Because if you're constantly talking about those that don't show, then
exactly
the people that's here, they're like,
they missing.
Well, I ain't coming either.
That's right. And it's about the message. It's about the message. That's it right there. And it's how you grow. So everybody started somewhere. All these iconic brands, there's household names and all of that type of stuff. And these, the TV shows or the influencers on social media, they had to start somewhere. So it's commendable to see, like you said, seeing me plug away, seeing you plug away, and honing your craft and getting it. Like you said, I'm just trying to get better and better. I walked into saying, God put me on the path for these clothing things. I was a consumer of clothes. I never was a maker or a seller. But now to push this agenda as in Faith Works and need to know that sometimes you just need to get up. We take for granted, like who none of us wakes ourselves up.
Mm-hmm.
None of us wakes ourselves up. None of us can say, okay, I'm gonna hold my breath. I'm tired of breathing. I'm gonna hold my breath tomorrow. And
I'll get up and start breathing again tomorrow. Okay.
Thursday.
Let's see how that work out for you.
You know what I'm saying? Like, understand what's really going on in life, man. And it's like to plug away and push forward. And it's interesting. You say Tammy, our cousin on here, man, a prime example of Faith Work, man. She been through some stuff, man. It just continues to push forward, and it's a blessing and it's encouraging. And that's what we need to see, especially our community amongst one another, to keep plugging away and love on one another, man. We got so much power, man. And it's crazy that, we got to start exercising in that power and move forward. And it's a beautiful thing. And everybody, like every other nationality, and everybody can eat, as they say. It ain't me against you. It ain't my I got to dim my light so yours can shine.
Yeah, and everybody's light can shine at the same time. And, but there will be those that, they get intimidated by your light. And you feel like, okay, well, maybe I need to tone it down a little bit. No.
Nah.
They need to either go in another room, get some shades, or get a light of their own, because you should not have to lower your standards or dim your light or make yourself smaller just to appease somebody's ego.
No, you got to
it's not about being, brash and reckless. No. But you do have to walk in the room with a certain sense of confidence.
No doubt.
I'm here. I'm going to do this. We all can do this together. But there's always one that says, nah, buddy. I remember when you used to.
It's gonna be that. What if you got to continue and always to be yourself, like you said, not in no braggadocious way, no negative way, being, it's humble and pushing forward and standing on your truth of who you are, but keep pushing forward and doing what you're supposed to do. Because prime example, what if Martin Luther King would have tripped off the outside? What if Martin Luther King would have just said, you know what, and it's funny because I have a series of some sermons that he just called A Knock at Midnight. A buddy of mine shared it with me, and Martin Luther King got tired and was like, I don't want to do this no more. And it's this. The church was like, no. You gotta keep pushing forward. We need you. But it's like what you say. You just gotta keep pushing forward, man. They're gonna come around or they're gonna get out the way, and you gotta keep pushing forward. And one thing about success, especially in this capitalist society, get successful. They'll come around.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But that's the crazy thing though, is once you get a certain level of success, now here they come. And the first thing they say when you're not ready to give them what they want is that you think you're better than everybody, or you forget where you come from. No, it's not that you forget where you come from. You want to put yourself in a situation where you don't have to go back there.
That's right.
You know, and I mean that's the bottom line. You want to get out of, if you're in a certain situation and it's not healthy for you, and you attain a certain amount of success, they're gonna say you changed. Well, if you're just noticing now that I changed, you missed the memo, because the change happened before I became successful. I had to change in order to get where I'm going. You don't change after you get there. You change before, you start reading things different. You start reading different books and looking at different programs and talking to different people. Your vocabulary changes. Yeah. But they don't notice that because they don't see that until they see the material stuff. Now they think you on to something and they want a piece of it.
Yeah, because that's having a materialistic mindset. That's all you're looking for. But if they was understanding what you were trying to do and listening to what you were trying to do on that path, they'd have came with you. Mm-hmm. We get caught up in, like you say, shiny things and all of this foolishness, man.
Yeah, follow the shiny object.
Now, a lot of times that ain't, I ain't against none of that. It's all good, because if I can attain that financial status to get these things, great. I'm gonna get what I like and what I love and what my dream this or my dream that. But it's gonna be on moving forward in a positive sense, a positive light, and it's gonna be a positive movement, not no jealousy and envy and hatred. We all human beings with feelings and emotions, let's be clear. And it's things that you see that you want, but I don't want it at the expense of someone else. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I've always been let's work together. It's gonna be a win-win. What you and I trying to do is a win-win. I want to get those items to you to share with your guests. Is a win-win. It's not a thing. You know what I'm saying? It's a win-win.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that move right there for the guests that come on to get the merchandise. I'll call you maybe later on this week.
That's what's
I'll give you a call and we can hash that out and work that out. Because like I said, when I first saw it, and I'm like, man, this is cool. And then I saw the hoodie that Mache had on the other day. I'm like, hey. I kind of like this stuff. I'm like, wait a minute, I need to holler, cuz
it, man, and that's what it's about. Everybody don't like the same things. However, it's about the passion and the process and growing and building it, because I would have been stopped if I, with the ups and downs and all the money that's been spent and just everything. But I know this is my journey, this is my path, and this is what I'm supposed to be doing. It's my passion, because I'm just up. You know what I'm saying? I eat, sleep, and think. Faith works, and the fact that I know it and I walk in it is a whole nother thing. But yeah, I want when you really, really got like the love of Christ and true love for people, you want that for everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
To become a passion. You know what I'm saying? It's just like doing to others as you would have them do unto you. And I'm talking about normalcy. If you don't want to hurt yourself, if you're not hurting yourself, and you want love for yourself. Look, let's reciprocate that and love one another. Yep. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. You treat people how you want to be treated.
That's right.
And and you treat yourself how you want. If you treat yourself the way you want somebody to treat you, then it makes it a whole lot easier. But we go through life, and like I said, it's not about so much how hard you fall. It's how determined you are to get back up.
That's right.
And what I also learned is that your why is what will keep you going. Once you figure out why you're doing something, whenever it is you want to quit, you think about what would you say to yourself, why am I doing this? And once you figure out why you're doing it, you're like, man, I can't stop. Somebody's waiting for me. And that's my feeling, that somebody is waiting to hear my voice. I don't know who it is. That's right. But I have a message for somebody. I don't know who, and it's not my job to figure out who. My job is to show up and do the work and just give out the message. And whoever's supposed to get it will get it. You know, we've all been given an assignment. When the day we were born, we were given an assignment. Now, we don't know what that assignment is, but we have an assignment. Now, we don't leave this earth until that assignment has been completed. You know, but the crazy thing is not knowing what your assignment is, but knowing that you have one, that you are supposed to do something for somebody or somebody's. You know, that's just, for me, that's the way I see it.
Yeah, nah, that's real. Cause I can tell you this: it ain't all the foolishness and nonsense that's going on around us, and us killing one another and us killing anybody first and foremost. But it starts at home. It starts with us. All of that negativity and the drama, man, and the violence. When is it gonna stop? Jay-Z said, you know, he said a lot of prolific things. You know, he's been through some stuff, and you know, he's doing this thing now. You know, as far as businesses. But he was like, you know, you people upset with me because I'm building my own. Like, what is that mind? That's the most backwards mindset. We supposed to have our own. That way we can hire our own and help our own. And going back to the political aspect of it is being a part of the process and not keep complaining about what's going on. That foolishness is going on because we ain't voting, and we keep getting foolishness and garbage and trash up in these positions. If we understood the process and used our voice, we wouldn't get, you know, the scammers and the schemers and half of Congress, you know, stealing money and so on and so forth. You know what I mean? Yeah. The change with this last campaign came because, you know, people sadly based on COVID was home, but the understanding that y'all need to come out and vote because we can't deal with this foolishness no more. This mess around and win again. But it showed that power in your voice, letting your voice be heard. And that's what we got to do as a community, man. And I'm just at my age, 55, I'm just like Jay-Z and many others. When are we going to change that narrative and change the path of where we going? You know, we'll argue and fight and shoot and stab one another. All that energy we putting in that, we could sit down and try to learn and understand one another and come together, because that's where the power at is in us.
But because somebody's afraid that somebody else is going to get more than them.
You hit the nail on the head, man.
That's the problem right there. Somebody's afraid that if I help them, they'll get more than me, and then I'll be left by the wayside. So yeah, you once, if you can ever break that mentality and see, that's something that has been pushed because they know that if I can keep them fighting and killing and hurting each other and being mad at each other, they won't be able to see what I'm doing over here on this side.
Nah,
you know, I'm robbing them blind. I got all the, you know, everything over here, and you know, we'll throw them a couple of morsels and let them fight over it.
You hit the nail on the head. That's just it right there. But you know, I kind of like, I definitely understand what you're saying, but at the same time, everybody walking around with a little handheld computer with these phones, and it's like, it's so much information out here that, you know, some people ain't got no excuse no more, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. But you I agree with what you're saying though. Again, prayerfully we get it together, man. That's the goal. Because if not, nothing will change. You know, nothing will change if we don't come together and get it together and understand that everybody can eat, everybody can win. If you look around, if you go to the corner store or the supermarkets and so on and so forth, and you see who really owns these things, they ain't hooping and hollering. All nationalities got crazy stuff going on. Rob.
Oh yeah.
But as a people, the majority of them have come together to attain the things that they have. You know what I mean? And that's how you get them. You come together. I can't do this business, this movement, this brand by myself. You know, I'm researching and looking, and I'm looking for, you know, some young people that's on social media all day, every day, to help with the marketing and the advertising and all of that type of stuff. So a lot of things, man, I'm, you know, just gonna be, you know, want to put out there that, hey, you know, help this thing along, you know, work with me, you know what I mean?
What I found out, Earl, is that if you do your part,
That's right.
the people, the finances, the material, everything you need will eventually come to you.
That's right.
For as long as you are doing what it is you're supposed to do. If you, like I said, our job is to show up and do the work. And if we are doing that consistently, then everything we need will come. And there'll be instances where we'll fall flat on our face and everything will go wrong. But once again, it's not how hard you fall, but it's how determined you are to get back up and continue, the race. You ride, like Martin said, you ride till the wheels fall off.
That's right.
And so, that's the way I see it. I refuse to quit.
That's right.
And if I can push somebody, because I've been pushed, people, they tell me, keep going, keep going, keep going. So
that's right.
And if it can work for, if it can work for Oprah, if it can work for Jay-Z, if it can work for those people, why can't it work for us? How is it that we can't get what, not necessarily what they have, but to get the things that we want? If it works for somebody else, it can definitely work for us, because they weren't the only ones that were given an assignment.
Not at all. If it's a passion you push for, and like I said, it could be you start off on this path and then end up, I really want to do this right here. But you got to take that step, you know what I'm saying? And again, that's where, the whole faith works thing come from. You got to take that first step in the right direction, first and foremost. You know what I'm saying? To even
it's the first step, period. That's where the journey starts.
That's
with
right.
The first step. You're not going to get anywhere if you don't move.
There you go.
And yeah, it's scary. You're wondering, is it going to work? Don't worry about that. Don't worry about if it's going to work. Don't worry about, who's going to buy it or if anybody will watch it. I used to worry about that. Is anybody going to come in here? I remember one time I came on and 2 people showed up and I got so frustrated, I just turned it off. And my wife was like, well, what you doing?
Right.
I'm like, ain't nobody in here. She said, well, can't nobody get in there now?
Yeah.
Shut it down. I'm like, well, you got a point there. So, from that point on, I figured, I'll just sit in here and talk to myself if I have to. Luckily.
I'm sorry, but that's how you build. That's you got to have content to build. And that's how, that's how it was with me and still is with, garments. I'll go back to some of my earlier stuff and just like, man, thank God I done came a long way as far as the graphics and the clothes. And I haven't even scratched the surface yet of this whole fashion thing. It's coming, because whatever I get into, I study, I research, I learn it, and I do the best that I can do. But it's coming because people like yourself and other people whose opinion I value, that'll reach out and say, hey, man, that's nice right there. I see you keep plugging away. And strangers have even out with me steadily just plugging away and keeping the presence online. Like I said, I haven't even, bust down the media blitz yet, but it's coming because I'm understanding with this generation of social media and what you have to do. You just got to flood it, man. You got to put people face. So it's definitely coming, man. Definitely coming.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's about that time.
Yeah.
Because I greatly appreciate you coming on.
Blessing.
I will continue to hound you about that book and just about anything else and let you know how great of a job I think you're doing, and not just with the clothing, but with the mission and the movement itself.
That's right.
That's for me, that's what BHOP Nation is about. It's not just about YouTube and Instagram. It is a movement.
Right.
Something to share, a way for me to share what I learned.
That's right.
Because I've always been a positive person.
Yeah.
But I've always been the one to try to, on the outside, but on the inside, it was like, man, this is, but now, it's gotten better.
That's right.
And so I enjoy what I do. I'm passionate about what I do, and I love what I do.
That's right.
And hopefully that will transcend into something else. And if it doesn't, I just keep doing what I'm doing.
There you go. Somebody need to hear the message. They were, it's Black History Month. They were sharing early on one of the news reports of some stories, which always amaze me because we some amazing people, man. It's just a beautiful thing. It's how did the slaves get the message to move a certain way and to those that wanted to be free? They gathered at the church, man. You know what I'm saying? So if you're not speaking it or other individuals with the platforms not speaking it, we ain't gonna get the message. Somebody need to hear that. Somebody need to hear what you're saying, because like you said, it's all positive. We ain't talking about foolishness. You and me would have been a millionaire if we was dealing with foolishness.
Oh man, they be in here. They be in here by the droves, bro.
Yeah,
we been sitting there talking about each other and how we hate each other and what we gonna do to each other when we see each other on the street.
Right.
Oh, they'd have been here for that. But it's cool. Whatever gets them by, it's not for me to judge. That's not for me. That ain't my job. I stay in my lane. I'm gonna do what I do.
That's right.
And keep, trying to get my message out and help others get their message out.
That's right.
So again, I appreciate you. I will be in touch. We're gonna talk about this T-shirt, the apparel deal, and all that, and get my guests in some stuff. And my wife wants to talk to you as well. So we're gonna have a discussion.
Hello, love everybody. Appreciate everybody that came on. Love the family. Thank you, family, for sharing them gems with me. That pride, it makes you feel good, man, to just know, man, what you come from. That pride. That pride is a beautiful thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But all right, bro, I'll talk to you.
Okay, much love, cuz. Thank you.
Much love, man. I'll talk to you. Take care now.
All right.
All right. Peace. Woo. Well, thank you, Loretta. I want to thank everybody that came out and sat and watched. People on Facebook. I appreciate y'all, everybody that came through this setting here on YouTube. Thank you so much. Thank you for your continued support. I will be back next Tuesday with another guest for Let's Talk One-on-One with Uncle David. I'll be live again Thursday, live with Uncle David. And Friday night, Unc's Juke Joint will be on and popping. So I thank you all. And until I see you again, remember, be happy on purpose, and know that I believe in you too. Love you. Peace.